One of the best parts of the Sarasota Film Festival is having the stars and directors themselves right here on the Suncoast to discuss their films. Well, today we are thrilled to have actor Jon Heder, best known as Napoleon Dynamite, and director Kendall Goldberg to tell us about the world premiere of their feature film, When Jeff Tried to Save the World. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to be here.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the film. So Jon, let's start. You play the title character, Jeff. Tell us a little bit about the movie and about the character.
Well, it's about a guy named Jeff, played by myself, who's trying to save the world. In this case, it's the bowling alley that he works at. He's the manager of a bowling alley, and he soon discovers it's going to be taken away due to financial crises and crises. Nailed it. Crisis. And so he has to do what he can, kind of muster all the resources and the people around him in his world and see what he can do to save it.
And Kendall, this is your film.
Yes.
So you directed it. It's your feature film. What has the experience been like for you to have it premiere?
Yeah, well, it's been pretty great. I mean, this is my first feature film. I've been working on this for 5 years. I started when I was 18 years old, so it's been a huge part of my life. And when we didn't have the funds necessary to make the film, we turned it into a short film, and we actually brought that here last year to Sarasota Film Festival, so it's been a pretty cool experience to be back full circle with the feature.
Yes. So if you know, our Suncoast viewers, if the name sounds familiar, it's because, like you say, it was a short here. How does that process work to go from a short film to a feature film? Is that always, do you test it out as a short to see if there's interest? How does it work?
Well, yeah, that's what the short film was sort of for us. Like I said, it started as that feature script always. It was never meant to be a short. Then we sort of condensed it to use as a proof of concept to sort of show to investors and take it around and see if anyone was interested in being a part of it. And that's pretty much what happened. I mean, you make this short and you take it to film festivals or you show it to people, you send around the screener and just sort of see, you know, this is the idea, this is what we want to go for, but on a much bigger scale, and hopefully people like it, and they did.
First date.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And but you have to then, I would imagine, maintain the same tone and everything when you take it into a feature film.
Yes and no. I think like there was a lot we learned from the short that we changed for the feature film. My writing partner Rachel Borgo and I, we sort of went and rewrote the feature almost after making the short. There are a lot of similarities. There's actually a couple shots of like comparisons that you look exactly the same but just different hair. You have longer hair in the short.
It was a year difference.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, but you know, overall like the plot is the same. Some of the characters are the same. We had to cut characters, we had to add characters, we had to cut scenes, we had to add scenes, cut dialogue, change dialogue. But you know, I think it was a blessing in disguise to have to take a step back, make that short film, and sort of use it as like a lesson and grow from that. And the feature was that much better because of it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And all right, so you mentioned that Jon, it was a year difference, so you were comparing shots of Jon. You've got Jon in the film, a big name. You also have Jim O'Hare from Parks and Rec. How did this come about? How did everybody come together?
Well,
I auditioned.
Yeah.
This is like, I did, and it was, I mean, it's not rare that I audition a lot, but it's like one of the only jobs I've gotten from an audition. I was like, oh, this works. It's normally practice, you know, you go into audition, it's practice, exposure, but
what made you want to audition for this, though? Because, I mean, you've done big stuff. This is a little bit on a smaller scale, and a young new director, fresh, I'm sure. Like, what attracted you?
Well, I love independent film. I've done a number of them, and it's always a very fun experience, especially when you're working with new talent and new people who, you know, that these young directors, first-time directors, are really passionate about what they're trying to sell, what they're trying to do, and I read the script and I liked the script and I just thought this is something I could do.
Kendall, were you so excited when you auditioned?
Yeah,
I mean, seriously,
I
this
was
is a big
little
deal.
just like taken aback. I was like, okay, cool. Like people like the script, and that made me really excited. And then, you know, I mean, at the time it was like we didn't have any of the funds necessary, like I said, to make the film. So I just sort of was like, I emailed you. It was like, hey, I like you for the role.
It's like, hey, you're great, but we probably won't make this.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm like, yeah, I know.
Can
It's just a nice ego rub and everything. So,
well, I have to ask, I mean, does it help you kind of get more interest in the film by having a name like Jon attached to it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, that was probably one of the big reasons we were able to make the film. Yeah.
So that's why you got cast.
Yeah. That was really
that's why it took so long.
Yeah.
That's why it took so long to get made.
No, I mean, yeah, you know how difficult it is. I mean,
Yeah.
you even said, you've said multiple times, like, you were like, sure, keep in touch with me, but I'm sure deep down you were like, I'll probably never hear from her again.
You never know. I mean, it's happened with projects. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I've either auditioned or I've read or I've been given an offer, and then like a couple weeks later, you don't hear anything, and then it's dead in the water. But I mean, I always said, I was like, look, if this gets made, yeah, I'm attached and I'm definitely for it. And she kept me up to date with over the next couple years. It really was like,
I think it's so cool to hear that.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years this takes, like even when you have a big name behind it, there's no guarantee the money comes to make it. Like I don't think any of us realize what a struggle it is to get most of these movies on the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, it says a lot for all of you and the time you put in. It's not about money until someone says, okay, you can do it.
Absolutely, and to choose, like you're saying, John, to give back to independent films is a great, great inspiration. I think I wish more superstars like yourself did. Let's talk a little bit. You mentioned independent films. Obviously, Napoleon Dynamite, huge, huge cult hit. Did you know that it was going to be that successful when you were making it?
no, we had no, I mean, it was the same thing. It was an independent film. There was no names attached. Nobody involved was really that big. And so I just, at the time, remember thinking, well, I think this is great. I think all the cast and crew, we think it's going to be great. If we have a great cast and crew screening and that's it, then I'll be happy. You know, just as long as I have a copy burnt onto a DVD that I can show to my family and friends.
And you can always get another perm.
Yeah.
You know, you can always do that.
Yeah, just hold on.
So, Kendall, real quick, all right, so he didn't know about Napoleon Dynamite blowing up, and then it did. What is next for your film?
Great question. I wish I knew the answer.
What's your dream?
Right now, well, we're seeking distribution, and hopefully you'll see it on both big and small screens very, very soon.
Are you taking it to other film festivals?
We are. We're taking it to, we'll be at Newport Beach Film Festival next week, and Boston, IFF Boston.
Good.
We're going to be at Bentonville, which is Gina Davis's film festival in Bentonville, Arkansas, and then we're going to sort of see what else comes up and take it around.
That is great.
Yeah.
We wish you all the luck.
You.
Thank you both
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank
We're
you.
thrilled to have you. This is the 20th anniversary of the Sarasota Film Festival. There's still so many great films to see. You can catch out a short that might turn on to be a feature film next year. All right, coming up next, our movie guy Matt is here with some of his top film picks you won't want to miss for the rest of the week.